You're listening to the Chad Hasty Show on demand. Good for you. Now download the KFYO app and listen live weekday afternoons 5 to 7 p.m. Central.
Broadcasting from the great state of Texas, this is the Chad Hasty Show. News and views with a Lone Star perspective. You can sound off during the show by sending Chad a text at 806-680-2790. That's 806-680-2790. Or call in at 1-800-687-0790. Now, here's Chad Hasty.
Lubbock, Amarillo, Abilene, Wichita Falls, Midland, Odessa, Dallas, Fort Worth, down in Houston, over in El Paso, and anywhere else inside or outside the great state of Texas, wherever you may be listening on this Friday, July 12th, 2024. Are you excited? Are you happy? The weekend is finally here. Congratulations. You've made it to the weekend. Well, we've got quite a bit to get into on the program today. Quite a few stories that we have to wrap up for the week. Also, get a little bit more in-depth on as we have more 2024 news to get into. We've got a little bit of statewide news. We've also got a little bit of an update on the stuff out of Lubbock County with the Commissioner's Court and some of the budgetary issues. We'll get into that. Plus, I had so much reaction last night from listeners just all over the place, and some people who had missed some of the audio. And honestly, we had some listeners who asked if we could get to it again today, and I, of course, we can do it. It's an open line Friday, so if the listeners demand that we play the audio again, then I guess we have to play the audio again. That's what happens on an open line Friday. I am not in charge on an open line Friday. It is you, the listeners, who are really in charge of what we talk about on a open line Friday. So we've got a lot to get into there. We've also got some fun national topics to get into. And did you know that the All-Star game is next week? For Major League Baseball, the All-Star game is next week, and we have a list of food items that'll be served there in Arlington. Some All-Star food items that'll be on the menu. So we've got all of that to get into on the program. We've got a couple of guests who will be joining us as well, including Kim Sansom with the Silver Spur Trade Show's Gun and Blade Show. She'll join us here in just a little bit. And then we're going to visit with the folks over at Ritos Downs over there in Ritos, New Mexico. We love Ritos, New Mexico. And we'll visit with the folks at Ritos Downs because they're open for business. They've got horse racing going on. And, of course, they're inviting folks to come on out and not only enjoy a day at the races, but also just a nice weekend there in Ruidoso, where the highs are expected to be in the 80s. Which, hey, that sounds pretty good. I'll take that. That's much better than the upper 90s, low 100s. I'll absolutely take that. So we've got a lot there to get into. Your phone calls, your text messages. Today is also National French Fry Day. Nick, did you know that today is National French Fry Day? So today your running topic, and you can go fast food, you can go sit down restaurant, you can go at home. Best place to get French fries. Best place to get French fries. Where is it? Is it the home of the Golden Arches? Is that still the best French fry that's out there? You know what I'm talking about. Or maybe it's somewhere else. I don't know. Maybe, and we could also throw this out there. Your favorite type of French fry, because there are different types of French fries. You've got the steak fries. You've got the regular French fry. You've got the waffle fry, the shoestring fries. You even have, if you want to get crazy, sweet potato fries. So your favorite type of French fry and best place to get French fries. Where's it at? We'll be keeping a list of places to go and get French fries. You can text in at 806-680-2790. Again, that's 806-680-2790. Text in, give us your name, also where you're listening from. That way we can give you the proper acknowledgement, proper shout out whenever you do text in. And of course, you can call in as well at 1-800-687-0790. That's 1-800-687-0790 if you'd like to give us a call, because the first voice you hear from when you dial in, he's just a guy who likes to hang out at the lake. Nick, the first voice you hear from when you dial in today. How was your day at the lake, my friend?
Oh, it was well planned.
Yeah.
I was fully expecting it. I even carved time out of my day.
Yeah.
Beforehand, just to make
you
it
look
work.
Tanned and refreshed.
And that's that's the lake life.
Yes.
I didn't choose it; it chose me.
It chose you. Yeah.
So when nature calls,
yeah.
In this case, going to a lake.
Okay.
I answer.
Yeah.
So that's how my day has been. Aside from that,
yes,
it's been a very frazzled day.
Really?
Yes. If I could pull my hair out,
okay.
I don't think I would. It's not to that point, but
no.
it would definitely be a little messy.
Oh no!
Today.
Why? Why, Nick? Today's a Friday.
It was, and I went to the lake. How could I be?
How could you be frazzled?
Could I not be relaxed after,
exactly.
After a lake day?
Yeah.
I don't know. But it's
You're just a little frazzled.
A little frazzled today. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I got. It's one of those days where, there's about 500 things you need to be doing.
Yeah.
So you start one.
Yeah.
And then you stop because you're like, oh wait, no, I need to be doing this.
Right.
And so I've got these little started projects.
Yeah.
All over.
Yeah.
Little untied knots that I need to go over and attend. So hopefully.
Yeah.
By the end of this day, it'll be good, and we'll have a great weekend. Great gun show tomorrow.
We've got a gun show tomorrow to go to. We'll be at the Silver Spur Trade Show's Gun and Blade Show from 2 to 4 p.m. Looking forward to that. Nick will be out there.
I will.
Yeah, the sweater will be out there. You can ask him about the lake life and all that kind of good stuff.
Don't get too jealous.
Yeah.
We it's not all what it's cracked up to be.
No, really.
You know what? Also, I looked. It's Brock Lesnar's birthday. Did you know that?
I did not. No.
And that brought up a point that I wanted to ask: is the WWE still a big deal? I asked that as a kid growing up. That was huge.
Okay.
That may have just been for children, but I feel like I was always listening to WWE this and WWE that. My dad would always watch it. My friends would always watch it. And then once I turned 16,
yeah,
I haven't heard much.
I will tell you this, just from where I'm at.
Sure.
I knew the name Brock Lesnar.
Mm-hmm. But you can't match the face, you think?
If there was a matchup, I probably couldn't tell you. I know The Rock. I've seen The Rock. John Cena.
Yeah.
I know that. I know them. That's about it. I'm done after that. Hulk Hogan. I could pick out. I could pick out Hulk Hogan.
Yeah.
Is he still wrestling?
I don't think he's still wrestling.
Okay.
He's still alive.
Yeah.
I know that.
All right.
But no, I just don't know if is that still a popular thing? I don't know.
It's I think MMA has surpassed everything.
Really?
Yeah.
The MMA took the
yeah. I think MMA has kind of surpassed including boxing. So like last weekend, I was on the YouTube TV, and I came upon the Holyfield Holyfield Foreman boxing match from a very long time ago.
Yeah.
And I was watching that, and my father-in-law came over. He was like, "Oh my gosh!" And he said, "Dad, we were watching it because you don't see super heavyweight bouts anymore."
See, I know who Mike Tyson is. This is similar to what you were saying. For anything, I know a few wrestlers.
Yeah.
But anything aside from that in the quote fighting genre,
yeah,
I don't. I know Mike Tyson. I know Floyd Mayweather.
Yeah.
And that's about it.
Yeah. And again, boxing has fallen greatly in recent years. And I think really it's all like MMA stuff now. And I think WWE is still big. I don't know if it's called WWE anymore. I think it looks like it's doing well. I have no idea. But I don't know. I think there are people who still like WWE.
Well, so many are going off to do other things.
Yeah.
I mean, Dwayne Johnson.
Sure.
John Cena.
Yeah.
And others probably.
I don't know. Those are the two.
Exactly. Those are as far as I know, those are the only two wrestlers ever. But a lot of them are branching out, and they have, throughout the past decade, I guess.
Yeah, I have no idea.
Other forms of media, besides the wrestling.
Yeah, I gotta tell you.
Yeah,
maybe we have wrestling listeners out there.
Yeah.
Who like wrestling?
I'm sure, and that's the thing. Like, I know there's still fans.
Yeah,
I know it's still. I mean, it's still a televised.
It's like NASCAR. There are still people out there who like NASCAR. You don't run into a lot of people who watch NASCAR. Like, I couldn't tell you any driver now for NASCAR. I couldn't do it.
Danica Patrick?
No, I don't think so. I don't think she's driving anymore.
But she was.
Sure, for a day or two.
Okay, so I have a point.
Yeah,
I'll take half a point.
Maybe she's still driving. I have no idea.
Not a NASCAR driver.
I could not tell you.
No,
I couldn't tell you who's doing the NASCAR thing anymore.
No,
but I know they're still out there, and I know there's still fans.
Yeah,
I know there's still fans of it out there.
Yeah.
As well. So once again, you can text in 806-680-2790. That's 806-680-2790. When we come back, we'll get into some of the news of the day. We'll also get Kim Sansom on with us to talk about the Silver Spur Trade Show's Gun and Blade Show coming out this weekend here in Lubbock. We'll be right back.
The Titan of Texas Talk Radio, Chad Hasty.
Talking with newsmakers and about the issues that matter to you. The Chad Hasty Show, weekdays from 5 to 7 p.m. Chad's show is also digital with the Chad Hasty Show podcast. The Chad Hasty Show podcast can be downloaded on Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, Spotify, and the Radio On Demand page at KFYO.com. The Chad Hasty Show, all across Texas during your drive home, weekdays from 5 to 7 p.m.
Watch out! Pew, pew, pew. You got me! The galaxy is safe once again.
In the pretend universe, kids play with pretend guns. In the real world, it's up to us to make sure they don't get their hands on a real gun. If you have a gun in the house, keep it locked, unloaded, and stored separately from ammunition. Safe gun storage saves lives. Learn how to make your home safer at endfamilyfire.org. That's endfamilyfire.org. Brought to you by End Family Fire, Brady, and the Ad Council.
Every time I look into your loving eyes, I see a love that money just can't buy. One look from you, I drift away, afraid.
All right, welcome back to the Chad Hasty Show. I was looking at the forecast. Oh, it is going to be hot. Hot all across the state of Texas. But you know where it's going to be nice and cool and just a really good time? Inside the Lubbock Memorial Civic Center at the Gun and Blade Show. That's coming up this weekend, where the air conditioning is at no extra price to you. It's free. You can soak it in. while you're perusing all the different vendors that'll be at the Gun and Blade Show. Kim Sansom with the Silver Spur Trade Show's Gun and Blade Show, joining us once again here on the Chad Hasty Show. Kim, welcome back. How are you today?
Well, thank you for having me back. We're doing fantastic, getting all set up here at the Civic Center.
That's good. We've got more vendors coming in, and what is it like when people start setting up? Is it a frantic thing, or is it down to such a science that everyone's kind of just taking their time and setting everything up nicely?
You'd be surprised. It really has a lot to do with the weather. And I guess the week everybody had, because, there's some Fridays, it's just so nonstop. Everybody shows up at the same time, and it's just craziness. And then other days, everybody just kind of moseying in and setting up. So that's kind of how we are today.
Well, very cool. Well, it's going to be another fun show, as always, out at the Gun and Blade Show. And I thought you brought up a great point last time, which was, hey, even if you came out to the last gun show, even if you came out to the one before that, there's always new and different vendors coming in and going out, correct?
There is, and their merchandise. A lot of these guys buy, sell, and trade their stuff or their wares, or there's new products that come out that they add to their line. So you never know what they're going to have, and they may have that one thing you're looking for.
Yeah, absolutely. So for those who are, maybe wanting to sell or trade a firearm that they have, what's the process there to be able to get in and, of course, sell or trade?
Of course, safety first, so make sure your firearm is unloaded. We do have security at the door, and they will check it and strap it just to make sure that everything's clear, and then the vendors know that it's been cleared. So then you can walk around, you find a gun you like on someone's table, and, hey, I got something I want to trade or sell or whatever.
Yeah. And, of course, it's a family-friendly atmosphere. You're going to see people of all ages and families out there together, and really everyone with a smile on their face.
Yes, they are.
And hopefully they'll have a smile on their face when they're leaving, and they won't be thinking, oh, my gosh, it's 99 degrees outside.
Well, like you always say, you always see lots of happy faces with lots of bags in their hands.
That's right. That's absolutely true. So tell people, obviously, we're going to have guns, we're going to have blades. I had someone ask if the knife sharpener is going to be out this weekend. What about some other vendors that you may just want to let people know about that, some different types of vendors that are going to be out there?
Right. Well, our knife sharpener will not be here. He's somewhere in the mountains where it's cool.
Oh, okay.
But
Smart.
he will be back in October. Of course, we have the tactical accessories, gun bags, optics, coins, body armor. If you are into reloading or looking for components and supplies, we have a huge vendor that has just about everything you need. Our leather guys, we got two of them. One do custom holsters and wallets and cell phone cases, and then we have another one, and they have concealed carry coats and shirts, and they have a lot of exotic leather stuff also, which is really cool. Gun bags of all kinds, range bags, magazines. Our magazine guy is here. There's stuff for the ladies. Always have stuff for the ladies here, too. So there's just a huge variety of merchandise.
Very good. All right. So a little bit of something for everybody. Tell folks what the hours are going to be. And, of course, this is taking place over at the Civic Center. What do they need to know about when they get out there?
We are open 9 to 5 Saturday and 10 to 5 on Sunday. Tickets are sold at the door. Admission is $9 for adults. Kids 5 to 12 are $1, and you can get a 2-day pass for $15.
And it's cash only to get in, correct?
Correct.
Yeah, so be sure to take
There's
cash.
There's an ATM on site.
Yeah, there's an ATM there. Take cash. That way you won't be in line. And sometimes I see people in line. Sometimes, let me tell you something, folks. There are many times where if you don't take cash to get in, you will actually be in line longer at the ATM than in any other line at the Civic Center. Okay, so
this is true.
Yeah, so get your cash ahead of time, and come out there and have fun. You get to trust me. People are at the ATM much longer than they are to actually get into the Gun and Blade show. Kim, we're looking forward to being out there tomorrow. We'll see you tomorrow out at the Gun and Blade show.
Yes, we look forward to it. Thank you.
All right, we'll see you tomorrow. That's Kim Sansom with the Silver Spur Trade Show's Gun and Blade show. We'll be out there 2 to 4 p.m. on Saturday. Looking forward to that and meeting some listeners who are out there. Be sure to stop by. We'll have some Chad Easty Show stickers to give away, and who knows what else we'll have out there. Hey, how about this story breaking a little bit earlier today? Alec Baldwin's case has been dismissed after surprise bullets were revealed in court. Alec Baldwin's manslaughter case has been dismissed after the judge blasted prosecutors for failing to turn over a batch of bullets to the defense. The judge threw out the case, ruling that no other sanction was sufficient. Quote, the state's highly culpable for its failure to provide discovery to the defendant. Dismissal with prejudice is warranted. So that had a variety about 20 minutes or so ago. When we come back, your phone calls, your text, and more.
Call in to the Chad Hasty Show at 1-800-687-0790. The Chad Hasty Show, broadcasting on the Texas Town Square Media Network.
This message is from the U.S. Department of Veterans Affairs. Veterans, do you take medication? At VA, prescriptions have a range of copay levels, from free to $5, $8, or $11 for a 30-day prescription, depending on your eligibility. Refill by mail, in person, or on VA's mobile app. Sign up at va.gov or call 1-800-MyVA411.
On the road with Mr. Rhodes.
I see a lot of things on the road that make me wonder. Like someone in a cow costume selling beef jerky? I mean, if I were a cow, would I be selling beef? And one thing I've got to beef with is pedestrians not using intersections and crosswalks. Those horizontal stripes keep you from ending up horizontal. Cross only when the signal says walk. And always look left, right, left. That's a key to staying safe on foot. And that makes Mr. Rhodes very happy.
Be safe, walk smart. A message from TxDOT.
The news and talk of West Texas. News Talk 95.1 and 790 KFYO. Chad Hasty, talking the news at the start, middle, and end of your drive home, and when news breaks. This is the Chad Hasty Show.
All right, welcome back to the Chad Hasty Show. Appreciate you being out there. You can send in your thoughts on the text line at 806-680-2790. Some text messages that have been coming in today. National French Fry Day, so we asked you your favorite French fries, where to get them from, and what type of French fries. One texter saying they're curly fries from Any State Fair. Another texter saying waffle fries from Chick-fil-A. Another text. Chad, wrestling and NASCAR fans go together like Judge Bowtie and raising taxes. Those two things are joined at the hip. Chad Bill from North Carolina weighing in was curious why Trump's campaign isn't out there telling people that things like price of gas is going up and inflation or anything just to keep pressure on. And all I hear is Biden is nuts. We know that, but all you hear is Biden, Biden, Biden. Well, let's not forget that Trump is right now. If you're Trump, there's a couple of ways to look at this. You've got a major convention coming up next week, so a lot of focus is going to be on the Republicans. A lot of focus is going to be on Donald Trump next week. the Democrats look like a bunch of fools right now. And Donald Trump doesn't have to do anything. Donald Trump doesn't have to do anything. The Republicans don't have to do anything. And the Democrats are looking like fools. Why would you want to interrupt that? So this is the perfect time for Trump not to be out there, really. This is the perfect time for the campaign to kind of go silent, focus on who your VP is going to be. I mean, we've got a couple of news stories today about Trump, but it's mainly about the VP and who's going to be the vice presidential pick. I mean, they're gearing up for a major convention next week. So if there's any time to go, not dark, but if there's any time to be quiet and let the Democrats continue to pummel themselves, it's right now. Next week, you're going to hear from a lot of Republicans. You're going to hear from a lot of conservatives. You're going to hear all week long. It's going to be one big pro-Trump cheerleading movement from the RNC. And it's something obviously we will be covering and talking about, but you know, that's where the campaign is focused right now. They're not focused on anything else. They're letting the Democrats continuing to expose themselves. I actually applaud Donald Trump and the Trump campaign for not getting in the way and allowing the Democrats to just look like fools. He's been very reserved compared to what Trump could be right now. So, Bill, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Again, most people, and you have to think about the average person out there, okay? You're not average. You are someone who pays attention to politics. You know what's going on all the time. The average person out there right now, they're getting in those last minute vacations. They're already thinking about the kids' school starting back up, coming up next month. I mean, we're not far away from kids going back to school. and so, you got parents thinking about, kids taking last minute vacations and families taking last minute vacations. You got, all this, the national news media pummeling Joe Biden and the dumb masses that are out there that had no idea how bad Joe was. Now they're finally realizing it. Now they're finally seeing how bad Joe Biden really is. And they don't have to hear it from Trump. They can just watch the news and see that. So, don't be too concerned about it. Let's see. The Golden Arches has the best fast food fries. Blue Sky has the best non-fast food fry. Now, Nick is over there shaking his head. Is Blue Sky not fast food? I know it's probably more casual dining.
Yeah. Well, my experience with the fries are not very good.
Really?
Every time I get them. Now, this may just be how they do it, and it just might not be my taste for fries, but they're very wet, and they're very greasy, and I could pick them up and wring them, and I'll probably a full. Now, I like Blue Sky. I love Blue Sky.
Yeah,
I'm not nothing against them. They're great. I love every time I go there, it's great. It's just their style of fries I'm not a big fan of. And it's just
that's interesting.
It's too much grease for me.
That's it. I enjoy the Blue Sky fry.
Yeah.
Maybe they haven't been too greasy for me. I don't know. But I enjoy the Blue Sky fry.
You know what my favorite fry is? It's the steak fries that fall when you're eating your burger and a steak fry gets a little bit of like the sauce on the burger.
No.
And
no.
the drips from the burger, get the fry all soggy.
So wait, you're complaining about soggy fries.
It's not it
from Blue Sky,
right?
But then you like a soggy steak fry.
Yes. My explanation is it's not just grease that's soaking the fry.
No, it's not. You're right, Nick. That's not grease coming off the burger. No, of course
it's not just the grease.
Uh-huh.
There's other stuff in there. There's the sauces that are already on there. If I'm lucky, bits of the sandwich, the lettuce, a piece of a tomato might fall down, and then I've got a nice little snack with my fry.
No,
and it's wide enough where I can get like a kind of like
a boat.
Yes, like a fry boat. I can get all the little, I want to say detritus, but I don't know if that's the correct use of that word. All the little, the stuff that falls from the burger. You get that on a good fry.
No. What kind of burger are you eating that is collapsing on your French fries?
There's a lot of them. Now, this is when I order to go.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so when you get it to go, you get that plastic container and everything's so close together. So you can't help. You're eating. You gotta do the old put the tray on your knees while you're eating, and then you're hovering over the tray, eating the burger, and it's inevitable. You get a few drips here on the fries, makes them 10 times better.
Yeah,
that's my favorite.
Yeah, I don't know about that. Bill from North Carolina saying thanks. You're awesome. God bless. Curly fries from Chick-fil-A. Another vote for the curly fry waffle fry from Chick-fil-A. I don't think they have curly fries at Chick-fil-A. That would be something. If there's like a secret Chick-fil-A curly fry that's out there that I didn't know about. Oh, now that would be something. 806-680-2790. We've got another listener on the app chat asking, Chad, when is the next Lubbock County Commissioners meeting? Glad you asked. That's going to be coming up. Let's see. Let me pull up the calendar. For those of you who may have missed it, we earlier in the week, the Lubbock County Commissioners, they got together and held I guess you'd call it a budget workshop. And during the budget workshop, there was a back and forth between Commissioner Jason Corley, who wants to go back to the effective tax rate or wants to stay at the effective tax rate, and the Lubbock County Judge Curtis Parrish, who believes that those of you in Lubbock are just fine paying higher taxes. And let's go ahead, because we've had a few people ask if we could play some of the audio. Why not? It is an open line Friday. Sure, we can do that. Let's go ahead and play cut one. Now, you're going to hear some other people talking. This is at a budget workshop where everybody is mic'd up. Everybody's mic'd up in the room. So you're going to be picking up some different conversations. But we'll keep my microphone on, and I'll let you know when you have the county judge speaking. Let's go ahead and play cut number one.
Hopefully the numbers come in better.
I always think we do this backwards. Say if we're pick your tax rate, if we're going to do 146, if we're going to do let's test the revenue rate. Then,
now, can you hear Jason Corley talking about, hey, we need to go back to the effective rate?
That growing is based across the precincts.
I still don't know why we have to do the no new revenue rate.
Okay, there you go. There's the county judge.
That's what my voter asked for.
No, we didn't.
Yeah.
No, we didn't.
How do you figure?
Well, I got proof. We've been doing this 5 years. 3 times in the last 5 years, we've gone to the voters and asked them to raise the rate. 3 times in the last 5 years. 2019, bond election. 2021, Sheriff's Department. 2023, just recently, the ME's office. 3 times in the last 5 years. Approved overwhelmingly.
Only you know what your worksheet looks like.
We asked the voters 3 times to raise the tax rate, and they've agreed every time. At the very least, we could just go to the tax rate that they approved 2 years ago, 2.5 years ago, for the Sheriff's Department. Let's go to that tax rate. That's what they approved.
So
that's my facts. Now, where's your facts that you have to have the effective tax rate?
phone calls that I get every day.
Well, you're getting a phone call from a small minority of Lubbock County. The vast majority of the voters of Lubbock County want good government. They want good government, and they don't mind the tax rate being increased.
You don't mind it.
Not a single one of my constituents has ever asked me.
As long as you use the proper way.
I'll pull your voters out. The voters for precinct 2 have voted overwhelmingly 3 out of the last 5 years to raise their tax rate.
I disagree with your assumption on that because each time they voted specifically for an item that they said, yes, it's okay to raise my taxes for this one thing.
That's right.
Not overall running of the county.
But when we're talking about the effective tax rate, we're also including the INS in that. We have to actually bump the INS up. And I will say that's wrong because they absolutely said raise the tax rate for salaries, not for bond stuff, for salaries.
1 out of the 3.
Okay, 1 out of the 3. But 3 out of the last 5 years they said raise the tax rate.
Sounds like the judge is getting angry. And bow tie's getting tighter.
No, all 3.
We told them it's a tax rate.
When they vote
for the bond, they vote to raise the tax rate.
They are, because you have
a very specific issue.
All right, so there's the first cut, and so you hear the county judge who is saying he's arguing with Jason Courtley that you, the taxpayers of Lubbock County, that you want higher taxes as long as it's good government, which I would argue, if you look back at some of the last elections that we've had in the county, and the fact that Mike Dalby won overwhelmingly against the incumbent, obviously there are a lot of people out there who don't think there's been good government in Lubbock County. But as long as the voters think there's good government, then you're fine paying a higher tax rate. You've got no problem with it at all. You don't need to see proof. You don't need to see proof out there that there's good government. Just as long as you keep going and voting for bond elections, even if there's not a bond election, well, the county judge is saying it's fine to raise the tax rate. Just because. Let's go ahead and play. Do you have time to play audio cut? Let's take the break. And then when we come back, we'll play the second audio cut. We'll be right back.
The preacher man says it's the end of time and the Mississippi River.
The Chad Hasty Show can be heard all over West Texas. Weekdays from 5 to 7 p.m. Tune in on News Talk 95.1 and 790 KFYO in Lubbock. News Talk 940 in Amarillo. News Talk 94.7 and 1470 KYYW in Abilene. And in Wichita Falls on News Talk 96.3 and 1290. The Chad Hasty Show. Make it a part of your drive home. Weekdays from 5 to 7 p.m.
The impact of a meal goes well beyond feeding our bodies, because feeling full can sound like this.
How did the interview go? I did it! I got the job! I can't believe it!
And like this.
Mom, I got first place at the science fair with my volcano project.
That's amazing, sweetie. Congratulations.
Because when people are fed, futures are nourished, and everyone deserves to live a full life. Join the movement to end hunger at feedingamerica.org/act now. Brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council.
All right, back on the Chad AC Show. The next budget meeting for Lubbock County Commissioners is on the 16th, July 16th at 1:30. Here's that second audio cut.
Every 10th counts.
Every 10th counts.
The one before the year before that is 1 in the 10th or something like that. That it went down.
Which like the,
so the tax rate will always go down a little bit. Should.
Sure.
We're growing.
If we keep the growth rate.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm advocating here today. Let's just keep the growth. Keep growing. We're a growing county. Obviously, you can tell by this budget, we're a growing county.
What's crazy is it's on $4 billion.
I go backward. A lot of percentage of your voters voted to increase the tax rate.
Right. For specific issues. That's the way you look at it. That is not the way I see it. That is not the way my voter sees it.
Well, they did it for public safety, for roads, and for the ME's office. 3 out of the last 5, we've asked them, can we increase your tax rate? I know you didn't like that. You voted against it in 2019.
All but 2 of those.
Yeah, you voted against it. But your voters voted for it.
For specific issues, the voter was in favor of raising it.
So let's keep it at the VAR. Let's do the growth because that's what they've asked us to do. Why go backwards? Because they have not asked us to go backwards. They've asked us to go forwards. 3 out of the last 5 years.
So a lot of my voters are on a fixed income or they rent, which affects them. This affects them more than anybody else. And the reason I say that is because their appraisals go up. Their tax rate stays the same. They pay more in taxes.
Well,
they understand that.
I know they understand. I'll tell you, you want your tax, you want to pay less taxes?
Bring it.
Move, I guess. I don't know. I mean, I'm just saying.
Stop growing.
Yes, let's just stop growing.
All right. So there you have it from the Lubbock County judge. If you want to pay less in taxes, just move. That's all you have to do. Just move. We'll get your thoughts on what he had to say. Those of you in Lubbock County, are you happy forking over more money to Lubbock County? Are you happy about it? Are you ready to move? Your thoughts and more when we return.
The Chad Hasty Show, a presentation of the Texas Town Square Media Network. The views and opinions expressed during the Chad Hasty Show are not necessarily the views of this station staff, management, advertisers, or Town Square Media. Broadcasting from the great state of Texas, this is the Chad Hasty Show. News and views with a Lone Star perspective. You can sound off during the show by sending Chad a text at 806-680-2790. That's 806-680-2790. Or call in at 1-800-687-0790. Now, here's Chad Hasty.
All right, welcome back to the Chad Hasty Show, final hour of the program. Don't forget, for those of you in Lubbock, tomorrow, 2 to 4 p.m., we'll be broadcasting a special edition of the show just on KFYO from 2 to 4 p.m. out at the Gun and Blade Show. Come on out. We'll have some Chad Hasty Show stickers to give out. We'll be having a lot of fun as well. I'll be there. Nick will be there. And, of course, we want to meet as many of you as possible. So come out and join us again tomorrow, 2 to 4 p.m. You can text in at 806-680-2790. That's 806-680-2790. Joining us on the phones right now, if you're looking for a nice little weekend getaway, and for so many of our listeners, one of the great places to go is Ruidoso, New Mexico. And if you've been keeping up with what's been going on in Ruidoso, obviously our hearts and thoughts and prayers and everything go out to the folks there in Ruidoso. But they're back open, and now they need business. They need folks to go out and enjoy a weekend. And joining us on the phones right now just to talk about what's going on, including over at Ruidoso Downs Racetrack and Casino, we've got Tim Keithley joining us here on the Chad Hasty Show. Tim, welcome back. How are you today?
Well, thank you for the time. I'm just fine. I'm just standing right outside of Ruidoso Downs Racetrack. The sun is shining. It's a beautiful day.
That's awesome. That's all. Well, tell folks, obviously we so many of us have been paying attention to what has been going on in Ruidoso with, the first you had the wildfires, then you had the flooding that's been going on. It's been a tough time for the folks there. And I know there was about a week period where, there was kind of a sort of a call, for people to stay away. And then about a week later, it was like, okay, everybody come back now. We're open. We're ready for business. What is it like on the ground there in Ruidoso, New Mexico?
Well, the fire's over, and that's certainly understandable that they paused on the tourism when the fire was going on. And so the fire now is out. It's almost like 97 to close to 100% contained. and the fire's been out now for a couple of weeks. And then after fire comes flash flooding, and we've had those issues. But they're kind of a temporary thing. A flash flood would happen and then dissipate. What we really need are all of our tourists back. And the people ask, what can we do for Ruidoso? I've just been saying, well, come to town. I mean, we at the racetrack, we welcome 250,000 people a year, a season, from Memorial Day to Labor Day. And now we need those folks to come back. The fires are over. The floods have dissipated, and we're racing today. We have quarter horse racing today. We'll have quarter horse and thoroughbred racing next weekend. We race on Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays. And if you want to help Ruidoso, come to the races, shop in the Midtown stores, which are all open. All the highways, everything is open. A lot of Facebook video about floods, and I know that concerns everybody, but those are now in the past, and we just want to get the word out to please come back. We need Texans in order to survive. We're a tourist town. Yeah, no, absolutely, and so many people who, obviously who visit there are from the Lone Star State, and it's a key thing. In order to keep the businesses open, you got to have the visitors, and now is a great time to go and visit. It's going to be about 100 degrees here in West Texas this weekend, but I hear it's going to be a nice and a little bit cooler in Ruidoso, which is exactly what you want. You want some of that mountain air. You want to get out there, be able to relax. And one of the things that I love about going to Ruidoso Downs is you can be outside, you can enjoy the nice weather and just the beautiful scenery. And then when those horses go thundering by, there's nothing like it. I mean, it's an awesome feeling. I mean, you said it just exactly right. I mean, this is the number one reason why people come here is the weather. And when it's 110 in Lubbock, it's 82 here. Today, I think the high was 82 degrees with a big blue sky. And it's just a gorgeous day. And, that's the thing. Everybody sees all these videos of the death and the destruction, and now you think you're going to have a locust invasion or something, and that's not anything further than the truth. The fire itself is on the west end of town. It's basically in Cedar Creek, up by Alpine Village, and in the Upper Canyon, and that's really where the fires stopped. It did not get into the Midtown area, all of the hotels in Midtown and along Highway 70, and so all those areas, you really wouldn't know that there was anything like a fire here. Yeah. So the main thing is the racing continues. Our Triple Crown races will continue. We are running this weekend the $1 Million Rainbow Futurity, and we're running next weekend the Rainbow Derby and Oaks. And we need to get those races in for the young quarter horses because the All-American is coming up for Labor Day weekend. Yep. And if you don't run the Rainbow in the middle of the season at 400 yards, it becomes more difficult than to run the 440 on Labor Day. So all the races are in. We missed one weekend. And, no one wants to minimize that this has been a fatal fire. There have been 2 tragic deaths. But when we certainly recognize that, and the 700 homes that were lost, the racetrack itself and the racing industry have now collected, I believe it's $280,000 from racing industry people in itself. Don't live here, but are in the racing industry. $280,000, and all that money goes to the Community Foundation of Lincoln County. So racetrack industry is involved. We know about the tragedy. We all know people who lost their homes. But the community itself, if it doesn't get the tourists back, well, then that economic engine could falter because the whole town relies on summer tourism. And if we don't get those tourists back, then we're in trouble. Yeah, absolutely. Tim, before I let you go, for somebody who hasn't been to Ruidoso Downs yet, and they want to go maybe for the first time, see the horses race out there,
What is maybe a good suggestion? Where do they need to sit? Because I know there's there's options where you can kind of rent a table and have a table where you can just get in the grandstand. What would you recommend to people who are maybe their first time out there?
Well, it never costs anything to go to the races, so it's free admission. If you wish to reserve a table, you can do so. I think we have theater seating underneath the shade in a shaded area for like a typical seat is, say, maybe $15. You can reserve a table. You can reserve upstairs in the turf club. We have a new area that is pretty exciting. We had just built a brand new patio that's outside of Billy's Cantina, and you get a really good view of the starting gate. Typically, it's free to get in. You don't have to buy a table, but if you choose to, a seat or a table, you can go to racerubidoso.com, racerubidoso.com, or you can telephone the box office, and that phone number is 575-378-4140. We make it real easy, and of course, right now, Chad, it's real easy to get a table.
Yeah.
We need folks to come back. We've noticed almost a half reduction in our normal attendance, and we hope that can get back in time to save the summer.
Yeah, and I think I think attendance is going to start picking up, and people are going to be getting out there. And of course, Labor Day weekend is a big weekend in Ruidoso, but we want to get people out there before that, get these races packed, get the restaurants packed, and make sure that Midtown there is hopping when it comes to business, and of course Ruidoso Downs and the casino as well is hopping as well.
Everybody has a memory of Ruidoso. I mean, from a childhood memory when your grandpa took you to the races, or if it's a young memory of college. A lot of folks in Texas Tech used to come over. Everybody has a memory of this beautiful town. And,
yep.
I've lived here 25 years, and I wouldn't live anywhere else. It's just a gorgeous place. Yes, we've had a tragedy, but we just want to welcome and invite people to come back. And we thank you for helping us get that message out today.
Absolutely. Tim, thank you so much for joining us today. And I know my family will be out there pretty soon. So we look forward to seeing you out there.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate the time, Chad.
Thank you. That's Tim Keithley with Ruidoso Downs. When we come back, your phone calls, your text, and more.
The Titan of Texas Talk Radio, Chad Hasty.
Talking with newsmakers and about the issues that matter to you. The Chad Hasty Show, weekdays from 5 to 7 p.m. Chad's show is also digital with the Chad Hasty Show podcast. The Chad Hasty Show podcast can be downloaded on Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, Spotify, and the Radio On Demand page at KFYO.com. The Chad Hasty Show, all across Texas during your drive home, weekdays from 5 to 7 p.m.
Heads up, Texas.
So you don't hit my car when I'm sitting at a stoplight.
Heads up, Texas.
So I can ride my bike safely.
Heads up, Texas.
So I can make it across the street without getting run over.
Heads up, Texas.
So I don't have to write you a ticket.
Heads up, Texas. Because driving and using your phone is a bad combination. Talk, text, crash. Brought to you by TxDOT.
All right, welcome back to the Chad Hasty Show. I asked you earlier what French fries, what type of French fries you like on National French Fry Day. Texture says the McDonald's in Brahms crinkle cut fries. That from Carl weighing in on the text line. Let's see, another texture just gotten through with the curly fries from Arby's. Let's see. Another texture. Has anyone had the new groovy fries from Sonic? Those rock. I have had those. They're pretty good. Yeah. Another text. Chad, I live in Wolford off 66th and Upland. They have to deal with Alcove Avenue where the new waste center is going. I'm telling you, Kovar's answer to that mismanagement of good government was a four-way stop sign. They will also, according to Kovar, come back and ask for more money because they now can't afford to have those roads widened. At this point, me and my neighbors would like 2 lanes with a turning lane. Not to mention Kovar's genius plan was to throw us a bone and put a four-way stop sign at an intersection that floods like crazy. We seriously can't wait for Dolby to take over. Hopefully the county citizens will remember this was the, quote, good government Judge Bowtie is bragging about. Another texter, wow, Curtis Parrish is truly tone deaf to people's needs and a real lack of empathy. When I bought my home 20 years ago, my taxes were half of what I pay now, and I'm supposed to move. Next election, he'll be the one moving. That from Rick in Lubbock. It's not just what Judge Parrish said that bothers me. It's the way he said it. He was very dismissive of Corley, very dismissive of the quote unquote minority of voices that are out there that want the effective tax rate, that want a lower tax rate. Very dismissive. Very pompous. Hubris can take a lot of people down. And for Judge Parrish, when your answer to people, when they say, my taxes are too high, I don't want high taxes, I don't want the tax rate to keep going up, what is your answer? When your answer to them is to move. That's not what he campaigned on. I don't remember Judge Parrish ever campaigning on, hey, if you don't like what you're paying tonight, or if you don't like what you're paying in the tax rate, you should just move. He didn't campaign on that. He didn't campaign that way. He didn't campaign telling people that we're going to keep growing government, that we're going to keep growing government spending. But this is also a lesson to those of you out there who believe there's no ramifications, there's no impact, there's nothing bad with going out there and voting for a bond. I believe there are some bonds that are needed. There are some things that are absolutely needed, yes. But do not forget that there will be politicians, there will be elected officials, whether it's the county government, whether it's the city government, whether it's the school board, whatever it may be, there will be elected officials who want to use that as a way to just spend more money in the future. And listen, I've heard from many people who say, we agree with Curtis Parrish. Well, not many people. There is like a few. You got to spend more money. Growing government, growing county, you got to spend more money. You got to spend more. You got a county that continues to grow. You got to spend more money. Name a county that doesn't want to spend more money. You've got Lubbock ISD inside the city of Lubbock that is going. That they've got a budget deficit that they just passed. And it's going to continue to get worse for the city of Lubbock. It's going to continue to get worse for Lubbock ISD. And people's property taxes are going up, and people's taxes that they're paying to the county those continue to go up. And what is the county judge's answer? Move. I don't know if he'd tell that to the people in Lubbock Cooper or not. I don't know if he'd say that out in some of the different areas, but that's at least what he's telling at least some, is you need to move. You want lower taxes, you want a lower tax rate. I don't know what to tell you, just move. Hang on. I want to make sure that we get him right. Can we play his full quote, Nick? I don't want to misquote him.
You want to pay less taxes? Move, I guess. I don't know.
Okay, thank you. I don't want to take him out of context or misquote him or anything. But you've got county officials and you've got statewide, you've got people who are elected all over this state who think just like he does. And I've had numerous people ask me, didn't he know he was being recorded? Didn't he know he was being There are some people who just don't care. Because a lot of the news media, they don't report on the county government. They don't report on what's going on. And I'm pretty sure none of the news media was at the last budget meeting. Which, by the way, the next budget meeting for Lubbock County is going to be on Tuesday the 16th at 1:30. You should show up. If you're a concerned citizen, you should show up. And I think from here on out, maybe those of you in Lubbock County who are concerned and you disagree with the county judge, maybe some of you who say you just don't want a higher tax rate just because, maybe you should let the county judge know. Maybe you should let your county commissioners know as well. Otherwise, they're just going to push for a higher tax rate and think the county judge is right. 806-680-2790. Couple of texts that have come in. Mark in California weighing in. Hey, Chad, enjoying the show today in Hazlet, Texas. A little warm, but nice breeze and beautiful country. Another texter, Wingstop fries. Oh, those are good. Yeah, Wingstop fries are pretty good. Absolutely. Another texter, one is reminded of the ruler who told the people that had no bread. She then said, well, then let them eat cake. Didn't turn out too well for her. We'll be right back.
The Chad Hasty Show, weekdays 5 to 7 p.m. Sound off during the show by sending Chad a text at 806-680-2790. Today's markets from the Texas Department of Ag.
Well, howdy, neighbors. Texas feeder cattle auctions were up, reporting prices steady to $18 higher. Texas Weekly Direct was reporting prices steady to $2 higher. Cattle futures were up, with August live cattle futures up 12 cents to close at $182.37. And August feeder cattle futures were up $2.50 to close at $258.65. July cotton futures were down, closing at $68.92. July wheat futures were up 13 cents to close at $6.04 per bushel. And July corn was down 7 cents to close at $4 per bushel. July soybean futures were down 8 cents, closing at $11.34. And July soybean meal futures were down $9.90 to close at $368.50 per ton. And July class 3 milk futures were down 4 cents, closing at $19.77. And August crude oil futures were down 44 cents, trading at $82.18 per barrel. And the Dow Jones was up 247 points to close at 40,000 flat. I'm Marshall Webb filling in for Texas Agriculture Commissioner Sid Miller. And remember, friends, Texas agriculture matters.
The news and talk of West Texas. News Talk 95.1 and 790 KFYO. Don't you forget about Chad at Chad Hasty Radio on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and on your radio. Now back to the Chad Hasty Show.
All right, welcome back to the Chad Hasty Show. Real quick, some text messages that have come in. Listener on the text line, 806-680-2790. Thank you for the audio you played yesterday and again today about the judge saying it's fine to raise the tax rate. People want it. The same arrogant attitudes happening here in Abilene. City Council leadership emailed them earlier this week how upset I was about them raising our taxes when the Biden economy is hurting so many people financially already. I got back a reply from one of the city council members about the breakdown of how little it is per month. When it's broken down, it's also part of the tax rates from the voter-approved bond election. So the same type of arrogant attitude you're playing from this judge is on full display here in Abilene. No empathy for us hurting here. Only explanations for how little per month this is and how it's voter-approved. I know I'd non-vote for the bonds. I know I'm still having to suffer through the raised taxes from them. I don't know why it's so hard for them to understand that with an increase in cost for food, gas, electricity, water, mortgage, insurance, that all that together is a huge chunk out of our wallets, and that this few little dollars per month they're claiming as their new tax rate, tax hike is. It's because it's not their money. They just want to spend it. And this is from the same council there in Abilene that they're spending millions of dollars for a dog park when they don't need to. Another texter, not only does the county want to raise your taxes, Lubbock City Council wants to start charging you for sewer tap repair. I believe that deserves a mention as well. Well, they're looking at doing a shared cost. But, yeah, that's going to be an increased cost for many citizens out there, that's for sure. Let's go to the phones. Former Lubbock County Commissioner Chad C. giving us a call. And former Commissioner Chad C., how are you today, sir?
Well, I just got through my neighbor's party that was 83 years old. Congratulations to my neighbor. So it's been great. But I've been hearing you talk about tax rates. I know all about it. I know about the budget. I know what books to look in. It's about 18 inches deep. There's a lot to look through.
Yeah. Well, I mean, what did you think of? I mean, some of the judge's comments during the budget process there.
Well, I know there's all different factions of the county that they want more and more and more. They want to grow their budget more and more and more. But go back and look at what is our number one decree if you look it up, the state constitution, what are county commissioners and county government supposed to do? Public safety. Look at what we have in Lubbock County right now. How many murders? How many aggravated assaults? I mean, we've got to do number one first. Take care of that sheriff's department.
Yeah.
Number one. I've been there. I know we have $100 million worth of repairs we need to do to infrastructure. But number one is public safety. Not employee safety, public safety.
Yeah, I think many people would agree with you. Commissioner C., good to hear from you.
Now, in my opinion,
yep,
if you're going to raise taxes, push that beyond the voter limits to where it has to go to a election. If you're going to raise taxes, let the public decide, do you want your taxes raised or not?
Yeah.
Let them vote.
Yeah, I hear you. Commissioner, thank you very much. Have a great weekend. Thanks for giving us a call. Appreciate it. It's always good to hear from Chad C. giving us a call here this evening. Another texter weighing in. The judge will cause all who can move to just do that. It's a lot cheaper to rent a U-Haul from Cali to Texas and vice versa for a reason. Let's see. Another texter weighing in saying Parrish has lost my vote. You can send your thoughts in on the text line 806-680-2790. Nico's Greek Gyros in Abilene has the best fries in town. Really? Another texter says Five Guys and in their fries. The thing that you have to love about the Five Guys fries is that they, you order like the medium fry or the large fry, and they give you the cup, and then they look over and just give you another like handful of fries in the bag. You get like 2 orders of fries with your order. It's pretty great. 806-680-2790. You can send in your thoughts on the text line. Weigh in on any of the topics that we've been getting into. Story coming out from the BBC. Headline: Biden is teetering. Trump's plan, let it happen. As Joe Biden attempted to calm the storm engulfing his presidential election, he hit an early snag, referring to Vice President Trump during a Thursday press conference when he met Kamala Harris. Within minutes, Donald Trump mocked the gaffe on a social media platform, Truth Social, with an accompanying clip. It was kind of the reaction the voters have come to expect from Trump, who has spent years insulting the president. And yet, for the past 2 weeks, Biden has been fighting for his political life. Trump has remained uncharacteristically quiet, letting Democrats argue among themselves, is what we talked about earlier. For Trump, he doesn't need to say a damn thing. He doesn't have to. The Democrats are looking like fools all by themselves. They don't have to do anything at all. Republican strategists claim the relative silence is down to Trump's newfound discipline, a change from his 2016 and 2020 campaigns. One Republican strategist says that he's been playing it brilliantly by not saying much about the Democrat crisis. Why take the shovel away when they're digging their own hole? And again, that's absolutely true. You've got a convention coming up next week. Trump still has to pick his VP. Trump's going to make a lot of news next week. The news media, they're going to have their blades sharpened for Donald Trump and the Republicans next week. We know this. The Democrat news media, who they're swarming over Joe Biden right now, all that's going to change the minute the Republican convention begins. I'm telling you that right now. You're going to hear much more about this evil Project 2025 that is not evil at all. You're going to hear much more about the far right, the evil MAGA Republicans, about how the fascist Republicans want to take everything away from you. You're going to hear a lot from the Democrat media next week. But you're also going to hear the media still go after Joe. And you're going to hear Democrats go after Joe as well. I think they're up to 19 or 20 Democrat members of the House who have called on Joe Biden to step aside. Right now, for Donald Trump, this is the time to let Biden sink on his own. Let the Democrats look bad. You don't have to do anything at all. So Trump has actually done a pretty good job on allowing the Democrats to look like fools. 806-680-2790. When we come back, your phone calls, your text, and more.
The Chad Hasty Show can be heard all over West Texas, weekdays from 5 to 7 p.m. Tune in on News Talk 95.1 and 790 KFYO in Lubbock, News Talk 940 in Amarillo, News Talk 94.7 and 1470 KYYW in Abilene, and in Wichita Falls on News Talk 96.3 and 1290. The Chad Hasty Show. Make it a part of your drive home, weekdays from 5 to 7 p.m.
Are you prepared for an emergency or disaster? Because it's not a matter of if, but when. Don't find yourself saying,
I'll trust water bottles and a flashlight to save the day, but I'll be proved wrong.
With a tornado approaching, I'll realize that I like a wheelchair-accessible shelter.
When the floodwaters rise, I'll be up in the attic with 20 cans of beans. It's a recipe for disaster.
let's prepare so we all have a better story to tell. Get started at ready.gov/older adults. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
You want to pay less taxes? Move, I guess. I don't know.
All right, welcome back. Chad Hasty Show. Tomorrow, for those of you in Lubbock, live broadcast, 2 to 4 p.m. out at the Civic Center, the Gun and Blade Show. Looking forward to that. And we'll have some giveaways, and the Civic Center is going to be packed. There's some other event that's going on out there as well, so kind of be on the lookout for that. But we'll have a table set up outside the auditorium, just like we normally do, and you'll be able to walk by and you'll see us there. We'll have some stickers to give away, and we're just going to be having fun. Who knows what all we'll be getting into during the Gun and Blade Show happening tomorrow. 2 to 4 p.m. Is when the live broadcast is. All right, so next week, Major League Baseball, it's their All-Star break. And so the All-Star game actually being played at Globe Life Field in Arlington. And they've got some new food. New food that they are debuting at Globe Life, and some of it looks pretty darn good. They've got some different chefs that have come in. They have the loaded cornbread muffins, which looks to be just a giant piece of brisket stuck into a cornbread muffin. Which, hey, why not? Sounds pretty good to me. They will also have 3 new dishes in honor of the state of Texas. A Texas steak sandwich, a Tejas cheesesteak, and the Lone Star Frito Pie hot dog. Which again, Nick, do you remember when we talked about the official hot dog of Texas? If you were to have an official hot dog of Texas, let me offer up a Frito Pie hot dog, which is a foot-long hot dog with cheese, of course, chili, Fritos, and jalapenos. Now that sounds like it could be the official hot dog of Texas. It's loaded with chili, Fritos, queso, sour cream. No, I don't need that. I don't need the sour cream. No, thank you. The Tejas cheesesteak is a roast beef sandwich topped with melted white cheese, peppers, and onions. And then you have the Texas steak sandwich, which is made with the Nolan Ryan Black Angus ribeye beef. The Dallas Morning News says it's big. An entire steak is served. That'll set you back $23. Actually $24. Which I guess if you're looking at an entire, I'm looking at the steak right now. It looks ridiculous. It is a steak on a bun. I mean, I guess it's an easy way to eat a steak. The loaded cornbread muffin, the owner of it says these little barbecue bombs have smoked brisket burnt ends stuffed inside Mexican cornbread. Honey butter comes on top because, of course. That'll go for about $10.59. They'll also have some street tacos, that are for sale. They'll have Inspector Gadget-like robots making cocktails. So I guess AI-enabled hot dogs, or cocktails. Texture, the official hot dog of Texas, is a jalapeno sausage wrap. A wrap is not a hot dog. A hot dog is a sandwich. A wrap is a burrito. Never mind, I won't get into the full thing. But you get what I'm saying. A wrap is not the same thing as a hot dog. There also will have jambalaya and Cajun pasta for those who would want a little bit of something different when it comes to the Cajun side of life out at the Globe Life Park. And yes, they will still have the 3-strike boombox for $35.99. Baseball fans will get a 2-foot-long bed of waffle fries with chili, brisket, pulled pork, pico de gallo, lettuce, and jalapenos. Nick, what does that look? What does that look even mean?
That was a lot.
Yes.
A lot of food that you...
it's $40.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
You should get a lot of food for that.
Yeah, I would hope so.
Yeah.
When I'm at a game, though, I don't want to sit and just get full immediately. I want a snack, so I want to try a few different things. I don't want a giant meal, all in one.
I'm with you.
Yeah.
I'm with you. Yeah. That's why and again, I don't obviously go to the ballpark often. But if I were to go, I'm a simple man. Just give me a hot dog. Just give me, that's all I need. Give me a hot dog. Give me a cold adult beverage or two. Take me out to Dollar Hot Dog Night. I'm happy. I don't need the $35 boombox of doom. I don't need that. Plus, I got to be honest with you. You start throwing all those foods together. How clean are the bathrooms at Globe Life? I'm just saying. I'm just throwing that out there. If an emergency situation were to pop up, do I want to use the bathroom at Globe Life Park? And let me tell you something. If I've got a bed of waffle fries, chili, and cheese, an emergency situation could pop up by the 9th inning. I'm just stating the obvious. You got to think. You got to plan ahead on some of this stuff. And then it could be a long drive home. You're doing that thing where you're kind of moving around in your seat. You're like, oh no. Enjoy your weekend. We'll see you back here on Monday.
The Chad Hasty Show, a presentation of the Texas Town Square Media Network. The views and opinions expressed during the Chad Hasty Show are not necessarily the views of this station staff, management, advertisers, or Town Square Media.